Will you please welcome the Sex Pistols, ladies and gentlemen.
Everyone happy New Year?
Hello.
Can we just have a group picture before we shake hands?
All stand up with the back, guys. We get a
Stand at the back, yeah.
Come against the page.
Right, lads.
Guys, come back a little bit.
Evening chat.
All down the front, guys. Johnny,
Okay, this way.
Stand there, come
Back on the
Together, please.
No,
Okay.
I'm fine standing where I am.
John, just on the middle, don't turn him up.
Cheers.
Don't be this way, please.
Thanks, chaps. Stand here, lads. Cheers.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, photographers. Thank you very
That's not
much.
5 minutes.
Hey, there you go. Right now. That's vultures, isn't it? A bunch of vultures.
All right, I mean, enough of that.
Thank you. That'll do, thank you.
Calm down, ladies.
Please note, photos during the question. That's enough, thank you. Thank you. You can wait till the end, thank you.
So sweet.
G'day. Dino from the Daily Telegraph. I want to start off with something Paul Cook said in an interview just before you guys went on tour. The Pistols weren't really a happy experience talking about the old days. It was so tense, the aura of violence around all the time. So I was wondering if that's been still been the case over the last few months.
What?
Whether there's still the aura of violence surrounding your live shows and stuff like that.
Not so much as it used to be, obviously, you know, but it's still pretty tense, yeah.
There's no violence or animosity really against us anymore. We broke a lot of ground for a lot of bands and made life very much easier for modern music. All of it. And that does include us.
I was wondering what, how you defined punk in 1996.
Oh,
That word.
I never called myself a punk. It's something that the press labelled us with tough tits. I don't like labels or categories. The end. Next.
But one more question. There's still been I was wondering if it's still been quite a negative sort of process for you all this time round. There's been all the accusations of sellouts and, you know, justifying why you're here, that this is probably the greatest rock and roll swindle. Any comment to that, other than fuck off, I imagine, so.
No, it just isn't jealousy perfect. Because that's all that comment is about. Jealousy.
My jealousy or the world's jealousy?
The world. We're jealous of our talent. We got it and we like to flaunt it.
Excellent, thank you.
Hello, Nick Bennett from Red Television. Johnny said that like labels, Evening Standard, Johnny Rock, March 96, we invented punk. We write the rules, we follow.
Yep, invented it. That's about all that could be said about that. Next.
What about the bands that came before you, who played perhaps an energetic style of music?
Wouldn't have really started this if there was anything decent before us now, would we? That's the point to it. We were bored shitless. There's nothing out there but dinosaur rock. Unfortunately, there still are dinosaurs.
I read your book, Matt, Mr. Matlock over the weekend, but what was so special about the summer of 1977 in London that inspired this music to come through?
Well, there was nothing special, that's why we did it. There was nothing going on. And there was kids on the street who felt there was a mood that people wanted to get involved in something, but we were the forerunners of it. We were the vanguard, we were the flag wavers. And they rallied round us.
And badly copied us.
Mm.
And still are to this day. Which is surely the point and purpose for us to be here.
For you, Johnny, what was it like growing up in London as an Irishman?
Vile. A lot better than growing up in Ireland, which is even viler.
Do you think that's what inspired a lot of your anger?
No. I guess I was just born this way.
In the interest of putting a few, or at least one urban myth possibly in its place, did you or did you not throw up on the old lady in the airport?
No. I was an old man.
In drag.
And the other,
Actually, I think it was the singer out of ABBA. So I'm right, yeah, it was an old
you
man.
threw up on. And given that, well, need to sit again. Given that there's been much said about the fact that the Sex Pistols regrouped in order to make the money they didn't make the first time around, and given that there was lots of figures being paid out by record companies when they dispensed with the services, who got the money?
Lawyers.
Yeah, lawyers and the tax man, I'm afraid. The usual. There wasn't that much money anyway. Most of it had to be given back for damages, I think was the term used. Yes, many a record company office was redecorated in those days. Not to the label's liking.
How much did McLaren get?
Nothing.
Rachel Gervin, Triple J. How much fun are you actually having this time around? Are you having plenty? Glenn Matlock, you look like you've gone out of a gutter to come to this press conference.
Thank you fucking lot.
You ain't so handsome yourself, dear. Jesus. You look like you could do it a shave.
I'm on the radio, I'm not on the stage.
You look like Sammy Hagar.
Thanks very much. My first question, are you having fun yet?
First,
Well, it wasn't until then, yes.
Who said touring in a band?
we never pretended to be the prettiest boys in the world. This isn't about good looks here. It's actually about talent, whether you like it or not. The songs we wrote are still valid. They're tough little ditties and they actually mean something. They're not banal love songs.
You can't really have much fun when you go around playing Anarchy in the UK and God Save the Queen all the time.
What's on the rider?
Water.
No beer?
Mars bars. Very little beer, not much need for it. I got bored with that habit.
How are relations within the band? Are they getting better as the two are progressive, or you're still friends?
Oh, we love each other.
What about you, Glenn? I mean, it was, I don't know, Johnny called you mummy's boy one time, didn't he? I mean, is it hard
He
making
still
up?
is. I love my mum.
He's lucky he's got one, you see. Some of us don't.
Glenn, with all the abuse that you copped from John over the years, why did you want to get back together?
He's broke. Yeah, something to do with it. I think it was to establish. It's to do with. It's not. It was to establish what the band was about the first time round, which got missed out, which was the music.
Is it really about that, or is it anything more than money, this tour?
No, I just told you.
Why are you doing it against the
There's an attitude that you've got to understand. A lot of people grabbed the name Sex Pistols and turned it into their own little whatever, their own little fantasy, and I find that disgusting. This is what it is.
Well,
It's about us. We wrote these songs
We're fed up
together.
with people
It's
rewriting
not
our
about
history.
wankers rewriting history for us.
We're
You either
into-
like what we do or you don't. Quite frankly, I don't give a fuck.
We just need to redress the balance, you know, of all the crap that's been said over the years, and if anyone deserves a re-one, this band does. All the rest don't.
How much is technology crept into your shows now that you're doing it 20 years on? How different is it?
I think there's a distinct lack of technology. It shows you don't need all that crap. Lots of bands have acres and acres of gear on stage, and they end up sounding crap. We have no gear on stage, we sound great.
If you bother to look at the stage, you'll find out that it's exactly the same equipment we always use. The only real difference is that we have monitors this time. We can actually hear what we're doing.
Everyone's claimed credit for the Sex Pistols at some stage.
Yes, it's a shame, isn't it?
McLaren, Ross Stapleton's been named.
Who?
Never heard of him.
A publicist used, I believe, by Virgin at the time. Do you think it's time for you to put your names forward?
It's time for us to
or deny it? Well, who really is responsible? McLaren claims it was
Look,
SAB.
isn't it real simple? Just look at the record and see who gets songwriting credit. The end.
So it's just
That's
the songs.
it.
It was the songs that was responsible, not the image, not the publicity.
You can have all that imagery going on, but quite frankly, if there's no content, it doesn't last very long now, does it?
It didn't last very long, did it?
It lasted long enough, and we're here now, and you're here to see us. I think that's lasting quite well. Thank you very much.
Have you sorted out all your problems?
It's a success that we dragged you off your fat asses to here. Welcome to the Millionaires Club, boys and girls.
Have you sorted out all your problems with Malcolm McLaren?
Sorted out what?
Your problems with Malcolm McLaren?
We've got no contact with him at all. We haven't got a problem with him. He might have a problem with us, but...
It's insignificant. Always was to me. It's irrelevant. He's just a very bad manager.
Johnny, you're... Mr. Nick Penn here from the Today FM morning crew. Thanks for that. Are you anything more than just a bunch of tired old rockers cashing in?
Come and see us and find out yourself.
Right, what plans do you have to make money when the tour ends?
Don't have any.
Maybe a sitcom?
Yeah.
Can I suggest the old ones? No?
I'm not even going to bother to deal with you and your cliches. Next.
Johnny, in February, I think you said that you'd made not a penny won and you hadn't got previously any respect. What's more important to you, money or respect, or are they on an equal footing?
I would think respect for me. I do have an alternative career. I'm very happy with my public image. I'm very happy with my solo project, which will follow this tour. Respect more than the money, always. I enjoy making music. It is my life, my hobby.
Philosophically, are you offering new young punk audiences anything new that they haven't heard before?
And giving them a chance to try this lot out. They never have before. The Pistols hardly ever toured, mostly because of ignorance of local councils or governments or whatever. We've a band from just about everywhere. Now, why, I've no real idea. I don't think what we've done is that offensive. It's just honest. Maybe that's
so far?
extremely well, surprisingly so. To my mind, I would have thought there would have been a lot of animosity because the press has been extremely bitter, particularly the British press. Once we got out of England, that seemed to have changed.
Bitter about the fact that you reformed.
Bitter about the fact that we ever existed. There's just such a resentment there. They just don't like the working class to do well at anything. You know, that's the trouble. We're upstarts, you see.
Johnny, you're...
We challenged the system and won.
Do you see anything in Australia's system to challenge?
I haven't been here long enough. That's your problem, not mine. I'll be gone next week. What you do is your own business.
What about
I'm not
back
here
home?
to pontificate and tell you to, like, execute your government at dawn, but it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Back home then, I mean, is there stuff going on back home that, that you want to re-examine? In other words, write new stuff?
If you mean about Britain, I couldn't give a toss about the country any longer. I left there a long time ago. Not much intention of ever living there again.
What about Europe then?
No, I don't like Europe either. It's dilapidated. There's a second-hand vibe about all of it.
Where do you like
It's
it?
worn out. I don't like anywhere, to be quite frank. I mean, that's, you know, probably my motivation. I've yet to find something that suits me.
Any punk bands now that you like?
Again, that's a label, it's a category. I'm not too interested
Well,
in
any
that.
bands
I
that
like
do stuff
all
like
music and at the same time not very much of it.
What attracted you to work with Black Bear?
They're mates of mine.
Why do you think our government should be executed at dawn?
Well, that's your problem, isn't it?
Because they're there.
I've not met a government that I think's doing a decent job. They're all liars. Politicians, by their very nature, have to be liars. Don't you think that's a tragedy? Or do you want it to stay that way?
So is anarchy the answer?
No. Anarchy's really kind of mind games for the middle classes, isn't it? It's all well and fine to destroy things, but you have to have something to replace it with. Hello, I am available.
So what's your manifesto, Johnny?
War and peace.
In that order?
Most certainly.
Johnny, is your hair colour today some sort of touching memento for Australia?
No, purely coincidental. Funny that.
Are you still getting gobbed on by the new punk term and quite less have to do it properly?
No, nobody does that rubbish.
How boring.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
There was a few bottles being thrown on some of the early gigs from a load of drunken Vikings in Norway and Sweden, but we just walk off stage if that sort of shit happens.
How long did it take to
I'm
repair
not here
this?
to be spat at, you fucking idiots. Nobody wants that. That's ludicrous. That's a sign of disrespect as far as I'm concerned. I won't tolerate it.
How long did it take to repair the sperm and liver sandwiches at Glen McLockade?
Ha ha ha. You shouldn't believe all you read.
If there was only ever actually one Sex Pistols album, how come I've got about 12 in my collection? How did they manage to just string out so few songs into so many releases over such a long
You were
period of
stupid
time?
enough to buy them all.
Yeah, well, yeah, because it's, yeah,
So just the songs were in
Well,
different
I work in the
orders.
record industry.
You do it a few more people like you in the world. Keep up the good work.
So how's the Filthy Luca live set been going? Has it been
Stunning. Rave reviews all round.
Like John said, we had a lot of animosity to start with, but once people started to come and see us and find out what we were all about, they soon changed their tune a bit.
Are you finally making some decent money then?
We're earning some money, but not loads, not millions. It's not the sort of money bands like Kiss or the Eagles would make, something like that, you know. But I think we deserve to be paid for what we're doing.
But well, at least you're keeping it all for yourselves. No middlemen at all?
Well, there's always a middleman in there somewhere along the way.
You got them under control?
Yeah. It's all on our terms, basically, this time.
No, I mean, this isn't $75 ago Michael Jackson on tour, is it? There is a difference there, but oddly enough, people don't seem to complain about the likes of him ripping you off left, right and centre.
As soon as we're out there, though, everyone's...
See, there's a thing in there that somehow you begrudge us earning money. Sort that out in your own head. Why the resentment? What's wrong with me being loaded? Think what I'd do with all that money. Think what trouble I could cause.
Tim Wallace, Cambridge Times. Can I ask if there's ever been a time where you've had any rapport with the media?
No. I can't imagine why either. I'm pleasant enough.
Do you guys have an opinion on Rod Stewart's current work?
Like what? What kind of
Well,
work?
yes, I do, and I'm pleased that people like him make the noise they do, because it just makes what we do ever so much better. You need that. You need that rubbish out there, and more of it, the better it is for us.
Why the choice of Skunk Anansie on the Australian tour?
We don't care, we don't know like that, this is no important.
Utterly irrelevant, couldn't give a flying fart.
If you did have the choice, was there anyone you would have got to open up that really would have turned you on?
Rod Stewart.
Ron Farris would have been all right.
You said that Sid led to the collapse of the band, or accelerated the collapse of the band.
No, when Sid came in, it all went kind of seedy and druggy and stupid and unnecessary, and that was a really sad ending to something that was quite special. If we can repair some of that damage, then we're doing well. I don't know if you can really get rid of that kind of aura. It's very difficult. People don't want to forget the shit. It's the way life is, isn't it? You know?
2 more questions.
Then were you ever bitter when Sid criticized you?
No, because afterwards busy doing other things. He's alright. No. I know my own mind speech.
We do get on well.
I think they led to their own demise, basically, by getting Sid in the band. John has just reaffirmed. Kind of played into Malcolm's hands a little bit too much.
Pete Townsend said recently in an interview that you shouldn't be embarrassed, Johnny, about reforming the band for a tour that...
I'm not.
You should
That's
be
why I'm here.
You should be quite proud. Are you proud of what you're doing?
Very.
Yes. Yeah, we all are. We wouldn't have done it if we didn't think it was going to be great either. I think we're all sensible enough to know that you know, would have been a pile of shit. We wouldn't have been it. We wouldn't have done it. We didn't think we could deliver, you know.
I don't like talking to the press. I think you might have noticed that over the years, because no matter what I say, it gets twisted. So, really, if you want to know my value, watch me live. I think I perform extremely well because I know what I'm doing it for. I enjoy these songs. I don't go on stage and merely go through the motions.
So what's ahead for the Sex Pistols after this tour winds up?
I don't know.
For me, it's the end.
Yeah, and me.
And me.
Well, until next time?
No, I think once is enough.
Get it while you can.
What about recording?
We haven't wrote any new songs yet. I don't know if we will. I don't think we will.
Why?
Because we don't sit down long enough together to write a song.
And that's the truth of it.
Well, it's kind of
There's no great need to write new material, not in this band, so what will be, will be. I'm not going to force myself into it.
Are you bored with what you're doing? You all seem sort of like you couldn't really care less.
I'm bored talking to the press, yes.
Thank you very much.
I have to be honest, I couldn't care less about any of you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Pleasure, it's been a pleasure.
Johnny. Thank you, sir.
Give him a smile.
Guys, can you come in? John
Say go. Say go. Please don't knock the fucking table over and you'll rush.
Yeah, you tell him, Shaggy.
John, this way. John, excuse me, John. John, this way, John. Johnny, what do you mean? This way, guys. Guys, all this fucking. John. I've got Johnny, what do you mean?